Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show where we show you one cool thing which we are testing out here in the PC Mag Labs. I'm Sasha Segan, this is Alice Newcomb-Beale, and if you are watching us on Facebook, then please join the conversation, comment and ask questions, and Social Pete will read out your questions, and we'll have a discussion of some of the really interesting devices we have on today. Otherwise, if you're watching us later on YouTube, please like and subscribe PC Mag's channel. Please, we need it. And consider coming over to Facebook at 10 a.m. on Eastern Time on weekdays so that you can join the conversation. But today we have, here at One Cool Thing, what appears to be, and this kind of freaked me out when I saw it on the screen, on the review page over here, a $250 mouse?
That's right.
A $250 mouse.
$250.
Okay. Is this? Let's just start before we get to anything about what this actually does. Is this the most expensive mouse we've seen?
Yes, it actually might be.
Okay.
Yeah, by a wide margin. But pay in mind, it's not just the mouse that you're paying for, you're also paying for this entire system. For the mat and for the mouse, the Logitech G903, altogether, yes, that is going to run you MSRP $250 thereabouts.
Okay, so it's not just a mouse, it's a mouse system. It's like a mouse and like its cage and its habit trail and it's like little bedding that it sleeps in.
Just like that. I mean, it's a whole thing.
Okay.
But what you do get when you pay $250 is a mouse that never has to be charged. If you're like me and you get tired of swapping out like the AA batteries inside of your wireless mouse or constantly plugging it back in so that it can maintain a charge, like, I hate that. But with this, I've never had to charge it in about the 4 months that I've used it because it uses wireless charging technology.
So wait, how often do you charge your mouse in normal life? Like, how often do mice generally need to be charged?
Typically, I would imagine after about, I don't know, like 14 hours of continual use,
Really?
most mice will run out of charge
So that's
around
like 2 days.
14 hours. Yeah,
Like every
if
2
you're
days.
yeah, depending on your use, that's how often you're going to need to charge your typical mouse. But the peace of mind that you get when you never have to charge it, when you just never have to think about it again, and the freedom that you get because there are no wires attached to this mouse, I mean, in my mind, that is almost worth $250. It is definitely pretty steep, but I think it's really cool. And it's definitely a worthy gaming mouse as
So
well.
now there's a bunch of charging technologies out there, like in my world, which is the world of cell phones. We have Qi, and we have PMA,
Yes.
and we have all these other charging standards. Is this one of those standards, or does it work like something else?
It works a lot like the key system.
Okay.
It just uses electromagnetic induction. There's a large coil that produces an electromagnetic signal that is then picked up by this small module in the base of the mouse, which is removable, and you can replace that with a 15-gram weight if you want. But it's picked up by this module and then transferred back into direct current, which then charges the battery in the mouse. It does have an internal battery. It doesn't have to be constantly seated on the mat in order to operate. So because it has an internal battery, it does have liftoff capability, and so if you take it off the mat, it doesn't immediately shut off.
Now, is that internal battery removable and replaceable, or is this a situation where after 2 years or so, the battery starts to run down?
The internal battery itself is fixed. I don't think it's replaceable. But in all the time that I used it, I experienced no kind of drop off. I mean, it was only about 4 months of continual use, but
Yeah, it generally takes like 2 years or so before these
before
kinds
you
of batteries
start
to
getting
decline.
any kind of deterioration. If you don't want to pay $250, you can just buy these by themselves, and they do work like a conventional wireless mouse. They come with a Logitech charging dongle here that is connected via micro USB to your desktop. So you aren't tied into a $250 or $200 system with the Logitech G703. You can just buy the mouse if you want.
Okay, we'll get to the mouse's features, but first let's take some questions.
Do you notice any lag, or like more lag than you would have with a wired mouse?
Absolutely not, actually. That's kind of the big selling point of the Powerplay system, is because there's a receiver in the base of the mat which then communicates with the mouse. So there is very little in terms of latency whenever you're using the mouse. So it eliminates that lag that you would sometimes experience with a typical wireless product.
So let's talk about the G903 mouse itself, because this has a ridiculous number of weird-looking buttons on it. And what do all the weird-looking buttons do, and are they things that you need or find useful?
They are useful. It is an ambidextrous mouse, which I always like to feature in my reviews. It does have these removable magnetic buttons. Okay, there we go. It has removable magnetic buttons on either side, so you can add up to 4 on either side. And you have the 2 DPI switches at the top, which allow you to toggle between DPI settings, which are programmable in the Logitech G software. And there is also a mouse wheel lock, which allows you to either use conventional clicky or just freewheel it like that. It is a very comfortable mouse. I enjoyed it a lot. It's remarkably light. There's very little friction when I use it. If you are someone that does a lot of gaming, you will enjoy using this.
How high resolution does it go?
It goes up to 12,000 DPI.
Wow, wow. So now, you said that the 703 also works with this wireless pad?
Yes.
And so what's the difference between the 903 and the 703 when it comes to features? The 703 is much simpler looking.
Very little in terms of difference here. It's the same resolution, essentially the same performance. It's a slightly different shape. It isn't totally ambidextrous, although I think lefties won't have too much of an issue using this. Do we have a question?
Someone's asking about how large that mat is. I guess we can't really get a sense of like scale. Do you feel
on,
like
hang on.
it's too
Hold on,
large?
That
for this?
is about...
It's 3/4 of a Sasha arm by half of an Alice arm.
Yes, I believe it is 1 cubit.
One
Yes,
cubit?
yes, I believe,
Yes.
because that is the length of the forearm of the king, right?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
That's industry standard, right? They
Yeah,
introduced
yeah.
that at CES. Okay, but going back to this, I don't think lefties will have a huge issue using this mouse. It isn't totally ambidextrous, but in terms of like the fall off in features, you have the middle button, which allows you to toggle DPI settings, but it only allows you to toggle in one direction. You only have the 2 side macro buttons as opposed to the additional 2 that you can implement on the other side. And there is also a lack of the mouse wheel lock in the center.
So going to the big wireless versus wired question for mice, I know a lot of, like, I realized I, for one, still rely on wired mice because I don't feel like wireless mice have total reliability. I find that sometimes they appear to skip, sometimes that, because we're also in our lab has a very, very crowded 2.4 gigahertz.
Very busy in here.
Yeah,
Yes.
2.4 gigahertz band. Is there a difference in terms of the reliability of wireless mice? Is this the system that could convert people to wireless mice?
It might be. That is what Logitech set out to do with the Powerplay system. They sought to eliminate latency and eliminate the need for charging. And by doing that, they increase the reliability here because the transmitter and receiver is built into the base of the pad, which then connects via a wire, via conventional micro USB to your desktop. So that in and of itself should eliminate a lot of the latency issues that some people may experience with conventional wireless products.
Yeah, I mean, since I'm not a gamer, for me it's less about latency and more about reliability and accuracy.
It's
Yeah.
This definitely provides that.
Okay, okay. Looks like we have some more questions.
Is it Mac compatible?
Is it Mac compatible? Yes.
Okay. Is there, that actually opens up a good question. Is there a software component to to the mouse experience here as well. Is there an application that you need to or would want to load on your PC? And what operating systems is that available for?
It's available for Windows and Mac. It's the Logitech G Play software, and that allows you to customize your RGB options, customize macros, and it's also compatible with all your other Logitech products as well.
So you can play with the colors on this, for instance, through the software.
Of course.
Okay. And now, if you're using, say, a Chromebook or an Android device or something else that doesn't necessarily have that software, will the mouse still work with it as a Bluetooth HID device?
That I don't think so. I think it's just. I think it's just 2.4. It's just 2.4 wireless. It's not Bluetooth.
So it's proprietary RF.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any more questions out there?
What genre of game do you think it's best for?
I would use it for any conventional, like, not necessarily MOBA, as it doesn't necessarily have the vast array of buttons that you would find on, say, like the Razer Naga Hex, which has like an excess of like 8 macro buttons. Sure, whatever. But for your typical like Overwatch, Destiny, FPS sort of stuff, this will fit the bill.
Yeah, I mean, as a non-gamer, I have to say, I find it amazing when, like, I've seen, for instance, a really experienced Overwatch player. This isn't going to surprise a lot of you gamers, but I've seen a really experienced Overwatch player turn the sensitivity on her mouse all the way up, and then it's almost like she's not moving her hand at all. She's just like twitching slightly.
That's the curve.
That does everything.
That's the deciding factor in a lot of gaming mice, is that maximum DPI. I can't go over, say, like 8,000 DPI. I find that to be way too high. But yeah, pro gamers, they're looking for stuff that's, 16,000 sometimes DPI.
So that they hardly have to move at all, like every tiny muscle movement.
That's the idea. That's sometimes the deciding factor in winning or losing. Yes.
So so we gave this 4 stars and an editor's choice, but I want to flip over and take a look at whether we have interstitials. Of course we do.
We
We're
want
PC
the
Mag.
daily tech briefing.
And take a look at some of the other mice that we review to say, what do we recommend for people looking for a mouse that's a little less expensive?
I would say in the Logitech family, the MX Master 2S was a very recent, highly rated mouse by PC Mag. It's very comfortable. It is also wireless enabled. It comes with the same dongle, and it also operates via Bluetooth.
Okay. And of course, the 703 is the 703, especially if you're not getting it with the pad.
Yes.
That's a relatively reasonably priced mouse as well, right?
$100 is about in the ballpark of what you're going to pay for a solid wireless mouse now.
Quality gaming mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. So this was the Logitech G903 Lightspeed wireless mouse and Powerplay charging mat, one of the longest product names we've had on our site recently. For $249 for the system. Do we have any more questions out there? Terrific. Well, thank you all for watching One Cool Thing at PCMag.com. If you're on Facebook, we will be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow with another cool thing. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe and check back on our YouTube channel daily for more cool things out of the PC Labs.